boy, I'm exhausted. You feel the neighborhood Master Chaos back with you once again. I hope you're well, my friend. Sending you lots of love wherever you are in the world. I just finished round 3 as well. Color in the Business, third draft of my screenplay that's going to be turned into a film in May. We're shooting in May. I got the official dates. I'm still not in pre-production. I should be, but I'm not. Yay! Okay, very stressed, but pushing forward and keeping optimistic because shit, I'd rather be making movies than not. Anyway, let's take a break from all that work stuff to talk about movies that aren't work-related. Well, in a way, they are work-related because I have to watch it for YouTube, and I obviously take this as serious as a career because I don't make independent movies every day. So, yeah.
Back from the dead.
The badass folks over at MVD have graciously sent me the 2 box sets that Arrow released this month, April 2022. We've got Road Cops and Racketeers, the films of Enzo Castellari, and Twisting the Knife, the second, that's right, the second Claude Chabrol box set of the year. And I hope his last. Have you ever seen like a dessert in a window? You pass by a bakery, you see this dessert, you're like, oh my god, that looks awesome. I want to eat the hell out of that. And you go and you buy it, and you sit down, you're like, shit, yeah, I can't wait to eat this. You take a bite of it, and you're like, oh, that was more disappointing than I could have ever expected it to have disappointed me. It's happened to me quite a bit. As a matter of fact, I would liken it to my experience with this particular box set. Twisting the Knife, Claude Chabrol, Chabroli-Poli, as his friends call him, returns to the Arrow catalog with 4 new entries, and in my opinion, they're about as exciting as white bread. Featured in this box set are movies, there's only one that I was familiar with, but movies that are all sort of thrillers. Now, I put thrillers in quotations because, in my opinion, they're the farthest thing from a thriller. I know he has his audience. Just giving you my flavor on it, and it's just, they don't work for me. Don't worry, I'll break them all down in a minute. First, you've got The Color of Lies. I'm not going in any order, just whatever, just fill out of the box. Nightcap, then The Swindle, which is the one that I was familiar with. I actually saw this one in film school. I remember my teacher showing me this one, and me not being impressed even back then. Then Flower of Evil, great title, not so great movie. Let's break the movies down individually. Let's kick things off with The Color of Lies, not The Color of Night, where Bruce Willis's wiener shows up. This one is the one that had the most promise, at least setup-wise. But to me, I think is still probably the best in the box set. But none of them are like amazing. Anyway, let me break this down for you plot-wise. But before I do that, I do want to show you how this is all packaged. These are all digipacks, so they do come like this, and there is a little bit of a still, sort of a, I guess what would you call it? The opacity is basically turned down on the still back there. And there's a little artwork on the disc for those of you who care. But what the hell is The Color of Lies about? The Color of Lies runs 1 hour and 52 minutes. The longest film in the box set is also the hardest to watch. A little girl is raped and murdered, and the prime suspect is her art teacher, a tortured artist who may be hiding some secrets. The small-town whodunit starts off promising enough, but the nearly 2-hour runtime waters the proceedings down, in my opinion. Backstory after backstory, red herring after red herring, subplot after subplot, the film just runs out of steam. The murder mystery gets shifted to the side for a love triangle plotline and a stolen antique subplot which was completely unnecessary. Both could have been ditched to keep the suspense and the mystery afloat. The performances are great. Of course, I have no qualms or issues with that. But I found Chabrol's directing a little plain Jane here, and the final denouement when all is revealed literally comes out of left field and is sadly anticlimactic. That's a running theme with this box set. All the movies in here end in such a kind of thing where it's just so anticlimactic. All these movies, there's no real build-up. It just happens, and you're like, oh, what? That's the fucking end of the movie? That's what you're gonna do with it? You're just gonna do that? And then roll the credits? I shit you not. There's 2 movies in here where the credits just start rolling. You're like, wait a minute, what? How do you end it here? Nothing was wrapped up. Anyway, I'm not going to get worked up over Claude Chabrol movies. This one is actually the best one in the box set. It's my favorite. But I wouldn't say it's a good movie either. They're all kind of a chore to watch because the energy is non-existent. I mean, it almost feels like you're watching a miniseries cut down. So it's just... And that's not even the good parts that they left in, which is unfortunate. Anyway, 3 stars for The Color of Lies. Great setup, but I just didn't like all the subplots getting in the way of what should have been the story of this thriller. And maybe in Claude Chabrol's mind, I'm not actually sure if he wrote it or not, but obviously as a director he has a say. In his mind, the story was the subplots. That's okay. I get it. But it wasn't for me. But 3 stars. I think it's okay. It's definitely, if you're going to watch any of them, this one. Up next, Nightcap, also known as Thank You for the Chocolate. Of course, that makes sense when you see the movie. You know what that means. Now, this is a movie that John Waters himself called Cinematic Perfection. Now, reading that on the back, I'm like, holy shit. This movie's going to be fucking nuts.
Hell no. To the no, 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 yeah, to the no.
It's definitely the one that has the most interesting plot elements, but again, it's just another flatline for me in terms of just in terms of how it tells its story and how the subplots don't even give benefit to the main storyline. Let's put it that way. There's a subplot here about a piano. A virtuoso who's teaching a young girl how to play piano, or getting her ready for this big piano recital kind of thing. And then there's a connection without giving too much away. There's some kind of switched at birth storyline happening here. None of that is resolved with this movie. This movie is concerned with another thing, which doesn't even really pop up until pretty goddamn late in the game. Let's talk about the plot. Nightcap runs 1 hour and 40 minutes. About 40 minutes into this movie, I started to wonder what the hell this movie was really about. It's almost too complicated for me to get into the setup, so I'm going to lightly tiptoe around it so as not to complicate things for this brief review. There's a central mystery here, one that doesn't fully reveal itself until an hour into the movie when you realize that there are sinister situations afoot. This does spice things up story-wise, but when it becomes painfully obvious what is happening, the film loses steam because the outcome is inevitable and no twists are forthcoming. It all builds to a climax that is sadly as uneventful, or I should say eventful, as a wet fart. I was hoping this movie would whistle like a kettle in the finale, but the film maintains its languid, Xanax-infused pace. It's not much of a thriller, and it's way too long for the story it's trying to tell. It's a small movie, and that's not necessarily an issue, but the fact that it decided to stretch itself to 1 hour and 40 minutes really, really hurts it, in my opinion, because there's just not enough here to keep it going. 2 stars for Nightcap. It's not terrible, but it's also, this is one of the movies that just ends. And the resolution just comes out of nowhere like, oh, this is what happened. And cut the credits. What? Hold on a minute. Why are the credits rolling? There's so much that hasn't been, completely dealt with. We haven't, a lot of subplots haven't even closed. What's going on here?
My disappointment is immeasurable.
The Swindle was the one I was at odds with. I was kind of looking forward to revisiting, but at the same time, I remembered I didn't like the movie, so I was hoping maybe age had changed my opinion of it. I mean, it's been, over 20 years since I saw it, but regardless, here we are, The Swindle, and I still didn't like it. The Swindle runs 1 hour and 45 minutes. What should have been Chabrol's most commercial film becomes his biggest letdown, in my opinion. A father and daughter con artist team run afoul of a rich man and his suitcase full of money, that good old-fashioned trope. This could have been a fun and breezy Ocean's 11 con artist movie, but the problem with Chabrol's films is that they're way too long and the energy is a flat line throughout almost all of them. Not that I was expecting them, but there are no big action sequence moments in this, nor any kind of satisfying reveals and twists and turns like you would expect in a con artist heist type movie. The finale was completely dull and anticlimactic despite some shocking gore moments. It lacks a ton of energy and is way too long for the ridiculously simple story it tries to spin into complicated heist material. It's mostly a movie about people having conversations and not really swindling anyone. I couldn't help but walk away majorly disappointed. This is the pastry. This is the pastry. You walk in and it tastes like shit. Or it's a little dry, maybe too dry. You take 2 bites, you're like, man, I'll finish it with some coffee. But then there's like a rat hair or a pube in it. I mean, it's not that bad, but you know what I mean. Completely underwhelming. 2 stars for The Swindle. I really wanted this one to fucking smack me in the face with some good goddamn old-fashioned storytelling, but it's just so boring. So mind-numbingly dull. I hate to say that, because I know this is a movie that a lot of people love. It's gotten a lot of praise, but man, this is how I feel. Didn't work for me. 2 stars. The Swindle. I'll show you the inside, by the way. I didn't show the other one, but just so you have an idea what they do look like. It's really lovely. The digipack. You know, I'm not a hater of digipacks. I deal with it, but I do prefer harder cases normally. It is a nice box set for the Chabrol fans. Let's talk about the last one. Flower of Evil. Fucking awesome name. Let me tell you something right now. It's not about flowers. It's not really about evil. So, I fucking lied to you. And me. Flower of Evil runs 1 hour and 45 minutes. This is a movie about political intrigue without the intrigue. This is probably the most boring political thriller I've ever seen in my life. A nearly 2-hour movie that is entirely built up for the last 10 minutes. And when we fucking get there, it's the most anticlimactic thing I've seen since, well, the last Claude Chabrol movie I watched. A woman is running for mayor, and some family secrets leak out. Will they ruin her campaign? No, not at all. As a matter of fact, it's not even a big deal whatsoever. But the movie decides to spend most of its runtime dealing with it, and not in an interesting way. Somehow loosely based, and I do mean loosely based, on the Lizzie Borden case, this movie is neither about flowers or evil, so that title makes absolutely no fucking sense. And don't get your hopes up about the Lizzie Borden connection, because there's really nothing there either. And I would not have known anything about that if it wasn't for the special features. Couple that with the fact that this is a super dull, slow-moving drama and incest love story, and you've got nothing for me to recommend here except for the actress who plays Michelle, who is jaw-droppingly beautiful. Oh, did you catch that, by the way? I threw it out there casually, but if you're paying attention, you caught the secret of this movie. It's about incest. It's about cousins that fall in love and they fuck around.
You must be kidding, aren't you?
It has nothing to do with the plot. I mean, it informs the character, so it is character development. So things like that are crucial. But what this movie's about and where the way it ends up and how it all kind of ties together, to me, feels so fucking random and boring. It's almost like, why even make this movie? What is this movie? It honestly just feels so strange. Why give it this title? Let me show you the poster for this movie. Does this look like an action-packed thrill ride to you? What is this? This is like a fucking still, but like a production still that they take like during the making of the movie. Hey guys, you just stand there for a second. Let me take some pictures of you.
It's awful.
1 star. 1 star, Flower of Evil. Very disappointing, and it's one that I was really looking forward to. Like I said, the cast is good. There's a beautiful young lady in here who plays the character of Michelle. She's one of the incest lovers. Gorgeous, beautiful, amazing. I love looking at her. But I wish the movie around her was fucking something. It's just nothing. For my money, sometimes the best special feature is the book. The original physical media. This is the stuff that I think most movie fans really like the best. And that's why special editions sell out when they've got a book and posters and shit like that. You would get a pretty thick book featuring writing from Alexandra Heller-Nicholas and a couple of other writers. I mean, this is a thick-ass book. Pamela Hutchinson and Brad Stevens and Seth Hogan, all these people are writing all about the films of Mr. Chabrol. Of course, the ones featured in the box set. How many pages? 74. 74 fucking pages. Holy god dang. That's a hell of a book. Nothing on the back, by the way. So you get a little extra in here in terms of content. I didn't talk about special features because every movie has its own special features, but you get a series of introductions. You get behind the scenes, interviews with the cast, commentaries, things like that. If you're a fan of Chabrol, then it's a no-brainer. You don't need me to tell you, whether it's good or bad. You're going to get it, and you should if you like his movies, if you like his style. Absolutely. Don't let me tell you different. But if you're curious, I think the second box set is a dud. The first one was way better. It has one of my favorite movies of all time on that box set. I actually love Fair. Fucking good movie. So Torment is, I think, the English translation. Fan-fucking-tastic. That's how you fucking make a thriller, man. These are wet farts, in my opinion. These are sharts. This is like, no. That's I don't want to have to deal with those anymore. Not a big fan. However, if you're a big fan, if you're interested in getting this box set, let me know. Drop me an email, and we'll see what we can do. I love the box set artwork. I don't know if I showed you the back. That is really nice. The spine would look really, really cool on a shelf. But to be honest, it's probably going to stay on the shelf because you ain't going to never see these movies again. However, speaking of stuff you're going to watch again and again, allow me to present to you Road Cops and Racketeers, the crime thrillers of Enzo Castellari. Castellari is the guy who made the original Inglourious Bastards. By the way, it's a great war movie. I do recommend that one. I was not familiar with these movies, The Big Racket and The Heroin Busters. And who fucking doggy? These are masterpiece fucking movies. I'm going to tell you right now. Shit. This is how you fucking do it. Let's talk about the one right at the top. Make sure I grab the right one. No, it's Big Racket. Big Racket! The Big Racket runs 1 hour and 44 minutes. First off, this new Blu-ray looks fantastic. The opening scene features primary colors right out of Dario Argento, and they will melt your mind and get you ready for this movie. And it's official, by the way. I've decided I prefer Italian crime and poliziotecchi movies over Italian horror movies. Yeah. And spaghetti westerns, I should say. Action. The blanket term. Italian action movies over Italian horror movies. That's where I'm at. Boom. Spaghetti westerns all the way. Poliziotecchi all the fucking way. You know why? Because I'm rarely disappointed by those movies. As a matter of fact, I don't think there's one spaghetti western that I've walked away from saying, ugh, terrible, what the fuck is going on? Why would they put a Camille Keaton box set? Oh, sorry, I'm going down a different path. Camille Keaton box set sucks, by the way. Anyway, let's talk about Big Racket. The Big Racket here is protection, as a gang of young kids threaten local businesses and scare them into paying protection money. This gets the attention of Fabio Testi, who is the local police investigator looking to take down this big racket. There are some really ugly moments in this film, so prepare yourselves, namely a pair of rapes, one involving a dude urinating on someone they just raped. To say this movie has a hard edge would be an understatement, but in a weird way, that's where its charm lies. This is an intense, balls-to-the-wall, high-stakes action crime thriller, and it fucking delivers. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, movie. Thank you, Enzo. Thank you, Arrow. A movie that delivers. Holy fucking shit. Thank you. Testi's character is put through the ringer as the red tape chokes his investigation, which leads him to make some unusual choices to solve the case and bring the baddies to justice. The third act on this is fantastically badass and separates this from the typical poliziotecchi films. This cop thriller turns into a revenge thriller, and I'm not going to tell you how it happens because I don't want to spoil it for anyone coming into this movie with fresh eyes. But I will say, the finale is exactly what you want and is delivered in exactly the way you would want it to be delivered. Bloody squib after bloody fucking squib. I'm not sure why everyone talks about Contraband when this is the Fabio Testi movie they need to fucking get their hands on. I mean, this is how you fucking do it. A cracking good action script, solid motivation, and never a dull moment. You know I don't throw this word around lightly, but this movie is a fucking masterpiece. I love The Big Racket so much. I was so surprised how just great the movie was. The performances, the scripting, the writing, the directing, the pacing. It all works in such a beautiful symphony of action and intensity. Motherfucker, you gotta go get this movie. I'll tell you right now, it isn't a box set. The good news is the second movie is good. It's not as good, but it's fucking good too. So the good news is, this box set, thumbs up for me. Let me tell you about the special features right quick. You get a new video interview with co-writer and director Enzo Castellari himself. You get a video interview with actor Fabio Testi. And then you get a new video interview with actor Massimo Vanni. And then you get a new video interview with editor Gianfranco Amicucci, which I think that's how you pronounce that. And then you get a new appreciation and career retrospective of the composers Guido and Maurizio De Angelis. You want to take a guess as to what I'm going to give The Big Racket? I mean, you've been together for a while, I mean, unless you're new here, in which case, welcome. I hope you're well. Thank you for joining me. My name is Master Chaos. I love you very much. Do me a favor, subscribe, and I'll see you soon. I'll see you at the next one. Maybe hang out. I got a ton of videos. We can hang out for fucking weeks, honestly. Anyway, I'm sure your guesses are in, and if you guess 5 stars, you are correct. Whew, this is a good movie. Good. Fucking good. Really well done movie. 5 stars for The Big Racket. Let's talk heroin. And in terms of heroin busters, not just let's sit around and talk about drugs. This could also be considered a Fabio Testi box set because here he is again. Also co-starring with David Hemmings, which is kind of cool. If you're into the giallo, you know David Hemmings. He was also in a black and white British horror film that was released by Warner's recently. Eye of the Devil, I think it's called. Something like that. Anyway, a long time ago. Anyway, David Hemmings, Fabio Testi team up, or do they, to take down a heroin ring? Let's talk about the plot. Heroin Busters runs 1 hour and 33 minutes. Fabio Testi is back, and this time he's on the wrong side of the law as a heroin dealer on the make for a big score, and David Hemmings is the cop who's trying to take him down. Now, I'm going to be honest, this one's kind of messy plot-wise and character-wise. In fact, there were too many characters. It takes a while for this one to really catch on, at least it did for me, but once we hit about the 40-minute mark, I knew what this movie was about and where we were headed, and all that unexplained obscure stuff in the beginning fell perfectly into place, and I gave the movie a round of applause. Now, I don't want to say too much about the movie. There are a couple of twists and turns in there that are more fun to discover on your own than just to have me tell you about it. All I will say is some of you will get a been there, done that feeling from the plot, but stick with it because it is worth the ride. The movie really comes alive in the last 30 minutes with one great action sequence after another. It's insane. A shootout turns into a foot chase, that turns into a motorcycle chase, that turns into an airplane chase. It's pretty fantastic, and it's where the movie delivers some of its really jaw-dropping sequences. I don't think it's as good as The Big Racket, but then again, that movie was hard to top. This, however, is a really good drug dealer narcotics investigation movie. The music by Goblin is fantastic, and yes, that Goblin does the soundtrack, and it's nice to see Fabio Testi and David Hemmings in the same movie. I wish the plot were a little more streamlined in the beginning, but beyond that, it's a fucking good movie and definitely worth your time. Thank you. Thank you, Enzo. Thank you, Arrow. What a discovery. 4 stars. 4 stars for the Heroin Busters. It's really dang good. And I think you're going to get a big kick out of this movie. Actually, you're going to get a big kick of the whole fucking box set. What a movie. The ending is not... I mean, it's just like you really have to experience it. It's kind of nuts how the chase transitions vehicles and... it's good. Okay, let's talk about the special features. Here you get a new audio commentary by critic Adrian J. Smith and David Flint. Then you get new interviews with Enzo Castellari, Fabio Testi, Massimo Vanni, and editor Gianfranco Amicucci, as well as a new appreciation of the career of Goblin, a little featurette about their music in the film. Let's talk about the limited edition extras that you get with these releases. Boom! Let's open it up. You get postcards, mofo. Now, these movies aren't nude heavy. As a matter of fact, I don't think there's any nudity in the films, but I will flip through it real quick just to double check. Actually, there actually is one. I just remembered. Okay. I don't think these give away anything. But anyway, so you get some lovely postcards, which I would imagine they were either stills or lobby card reproductions. Pretty sweet. And in the back, it just has the artwork like that. And that's the last picture there. Big racket. Lobby card reproductions. These are nice. These definitely look more like lobby cards. This is how I'm used to seeing the lobby cards anyway. Yeah, that's a cool ass train sequence. And what was great about the Big Racket is that I love that it just transitions from a cop investigation movie into a revenge thriller. And it's just, I mean, it's all earned, and I love it. That's the shit that we want. We're watching a movie for a reason. We want the story to develop for a reason. What's the reason? Give us a fucking reason, Claude Chabrol. Sorry, I'm still having flashbacks. We're not done yet with the box set because, oh, by the way, look at the artwork on the back. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, beautiful. That's awesome. Fantastic box. You fucking look, Arrow. Why don't you always do that instead of just giving like? Well, there's artwork on this one, but most of them are like the vengeance trails and things like that. There's just like nothing on the back. Look at that, awesome. Anyway, you get a booklet. This is the last little piece. Awesome. I mean, it's blank on the back here, but this is usually what they have on the thing. Artwork is fantastic. I'm not sure who does it, but it's really great. Look, it's just so cool. This book isn't as big as a Chabrol book, but then again, we're only talking about 2 movies. And I think about the transfer and things like that, I'll say 54 pages. 54 pages, and it looks like that. Oh, look how cool. Oh, that's so cool. Look at that. I love designs and booklets like this. Look at that. It's neat. Blood, cars. You get everything in this. A guy. Look at that. Awesome. Okay, so you get the booklet. You give a little more background on everything. And you get the big racket. And I would say equally good, but a little messy. Heroin Busters. But overall, pal, this is my favorite box set of the year so far. And yeah, it's only 2 movies. It's a box. It counts as a box set. I love it very much. I do highly recommend it. This gets my highest thumbs up. I mean, it just gets a thumbs up. A regular thumbs up. This, pass. But if you're interested in Claude Chabrol, check out the first box set. That's a little better. And if anybody's interested in picking this up, email me, link in the description, and we'll chat. For now, my friend, let's call it a day. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm hoping to get some more of the Arrow titles for April. I'm 8 Diagram Pole Fighter, Frankenstein. So hopefully they'll arrive, and I'll bring you reviews of those when they do. But I'm glad I got these. MVD, thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. And my friends, thank you. I appreciate your time. I love you very much. I'm off to Disneyland with the family to chillax and take some time off. But I'll be around. I'll see you soon. I'm planning a video on Criterion's streaming service, which I think will be a lot of fun. Maybe we'll do it live, and we can just kind of like browse the site together. That'll be great. Anyway, for now, signing off. Till we meet again, take care of yourselves. I love you very much. Farewell.